Okay, so welcome to this lecture now. So now here we will see how you can source the various dig items. Okay, now if you remember, just to refresh again, if you're not seeing this in continuation, that we went through research methodology of examining that what we have collected. But where do you collect the dig, right? Remember the examine, the problem, need, audience relevance, right? Now there are various sources of finding these things, right? We discussed about answer the public in RISE1. Now, other sources, right, to be current, you have the news. See the basic facts, what is happening about, right, to collect your data. You have the various websites related to a topic once you do your Googling activities. Now, once you go to the website, they will give you blogs and other relevant which you go further to. Similarly, from Google or Answer the Public perspective, you will get your other perceived questions that might come about. Right? Then there will be journals, right? The printed or non-printed ones, which will again have certain data or elements or articles that can collect that, right? This will include the expert research, mind you, the journals, right? This is not any of those, find the right ones. Then analysis of statistics. So now there will be some statistics given by the Bureau, which is credible, and you take that and the findings, because you have to give them credit, because if it's not relevant, they are not credible, the relevancy goes down. Okay. Now please understand, these are all e-sources of doing things. The way research is conducted, also doing sampling, right? They're doing live interviews and sample the data and get their input, etc. We're talking about e-sourcing the data completely into it. Okay? Because there's enough communication information available out there. Then there are encyclopedias, the non-fictional books, right? And biographies and memoirs, and there are various other sources of finding your resource material. But those are generalistically known. Okay? But to be current should be the latest news. To be active, use Google, Answer the Public, use websites which are relevant to your subject to get there, and blogging. So these are 5 typical ones that come into play. Encyclopedia, books, biography, documentary are typically part and parcel activity depending on the subject, right? So because they might be a little dated, others will be very current. So be as e-sourceful as it could be, right? With that said, you get your 100 questions from Answer the Public, the Googles, the website, the other websites and news articles, which you start putting into play. And from a storyline perspective, you give credibility to where it's coming from, right? And what was, from the finding perspective, what was the conclusion solution out of that? And thirdly is there could be a third element, right? The remarks that you write while you were listening or doing these things. Right? That is your perception, where you remember when you're going about putting this in place. Okay? So this is a quick one because this is e-sourceable. We talked about so many times earlier, but since we're talking about the framework being used, so this has to get repeated for you to understand and refresh your memory based on the previous why, when, and what, how, right? So because this data then feeds into the larger methodology and then to the framework. Got it? Okay. With that, I will talk about formats in the next one. So I'll meet you